guys, so today I thought I would do a video on some of my tips and advice on how to get out of a reading slump. If you're anything like me, then maybe you get into those weird phases where you just don't feel like doing anything and you don't feel like reading. And I know that when I have a lot going on, like schoolwork or work, or I'm tired, that I usually just end up watching a TV show in my bed. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood to read and I just don't feel like doing it. So I thought I would share some of my tips. I do have 5 different things that I do that I think are helpful to kind of pull you out of a reading slump and to get you motivated again to start reading, because I don't know, it kind of sucks being in a reading slump, but at the same time you don't necessarily know how to get out of one. So I have 5 tips and I hope you guys enjoy the video, and yeah, let's get started. The first tip I have is when you're in a reading slump and you're not reading a lot and you're just, you know, in one of those weird moods, then don't feel guilty about not reading. And don't make yourself feel bad about it. Find that with anything in life, but reading too, that if you make something an obligation or something that you feel like you have to do to the point where you're like stressed out about it, then it just no longer becomes fun for you and you just don't want to do it. I think the biggest thing is to remember that if you're not reading a lot for whatever reason, then that's okay. And you know, don't read if you don't feel like reading. If you force yourself to do it, then you're just not going to want to do it and you're just going to not get out of the kind of reading slump. I think it's okay to be in weird kind of reading spots, and it's hard for me because I do feel guilty about it too sometimes, especially, you know, as a booktuber, when I have to do monthly wrap-ups and stuff. I feel bad when I only have like a book or 2 to show you guys and I haven't been reading, you know, like 8 to 10 books and, you know, being really frequently reading all the time like some people are. And I just say don't worry about what other people are doing. Do your thing. If you have a lot going on, then you know, don't feel bad about not having time to read, and don't make yourself feel like you have to do it, because otherwise it's just not gonna help you and you're gonna feel worse about it. Number 2 is one of my favorite tips because I think this one is so much fun, and that is when you're in a reading slump, I think it's really great to go out and buy yourself a new book or treat yourself to a new book. I think this one's really good because a lot of times I run into the problem where I just don't feel like reading books that I already own, or I'm just not into what I'm reading at the moment for whatever reason. And so if you buy a book for yourself that you've been wanting, or something that you really want to have or that you've been wanting to read, then I think maybe you would get more excited about it because you would have it, and then you would obviously want to start reading it. And I think that can really help you kind of get inspired and motivated to read. Go to the library and get some books because that's free and there's nothing wrong with renting from the library. So I think it's really fun to just have something new to read. 3 is another one that I really do, and that is when you're in a reading slump, try to start reading really fun, kind of easy, light reads, because I find I usually fall into reading slumps after I finish like a really big series, or I finish something that was just like very complex, had a lot going on, or just was like a heavier kind of theme. And so I find that if I read like really fun, kind of easy, light reads, like contemporary or like young adult, romance, or like new adult books or anything, it really helps me kind of, you know, just get back on track, because a lot of times those books are easier to get through, they're fast paced, and you feel accomplished when you finish a book in like a day or 2, and then you just go into another one, and it's a really good kind of cycle to start you out. You know, don't try to go read like a 7-book series or like Lord of the Rings or something if you're in a reading slump, because that's probably not the most effective thing. So I would recommend reading like really fun, easy, maybe shorter, but just lighter kind of fast-paced read. This one's kind of similar to the last one, but my tip for this one I do a lot, so I thought I would share it, and that is to reread your favorite book or your favorite series. And I find that, again, when I finish reading something really heavy or really like intense, I'm just kind of like brain overload. Like, really helps me to go back and reread something I know I love. You guys know, if you've watched me at all, that I typically go back to reading Harry Potter because they're always really good for me. I love them. I know I love them, and so I don't have a problem like starting and getting into them anymore. I also just enjoy them. So, you know, reread a book that you have already read. If you really love a book, I think it's almost more fun sometimes to reread books that you've already read, because I always pick up new things when I reread books, and it's just fun to reread them when you love them. So I think that's a great tip for getting kind of motivated to read again, or getting back into reading when you're in a slump. No, you already like them, so it's not like you're not gonna not like them again. So I think that that one's a really good, helpful thing to do. My last tip is to make reading something to look forward to, because again, as I mentioned, if you make it a job or an obligation, it's just not fun and it just becomes stressful. But if you make reading something to kind of reward yourself with, or something to look forward to, then I think it might motivate you to read more, or you might get more excited about it. And so, for example, if you have like a big homework assignment to do, if you have homework to do, and you know, you need a way to kind of encourage you to do your homework, then I think, you know, tell yourself, once I finish my homework, I'm gonna, you know, get in my bed, put my pajamas on, and I'm gonna read my book, because I'm completely done with everything and now I have time to just relax and to read my book. And I think that this makes it back to being something fun, because, you know, instead of like, or maybe if you take breaks in between studying, like I find I procrastinate a lot, so in between studying, I will sometimes, you know, go sit down for 20 minutes and I'll start reading part of the book that I'm reading. And, you know, that makes it more fun, because you're taking a break from something else that you don't necessarily like doing, like work or homework or something. And, you know, then reading kind of becomes like a relief, or it becomes fun. And another thing you can do is just put kind of some time aside to look forward to doing it. So like make like a whole event out of it. This sounds crazy, but if you have the time in the afternoon after school, then make plans to go to Starbucks an hour or an hour and a half or something, and, you know, just take your book with you and say, I'm gonna go to Starbucks and I'm gonna spend time with my book for 2 hours. And then, you know, I always like doing that, because it's always fun to go, you know, go to Starbucks and get hot chocolate or coffee or whatever you like. And now they have all the fall stuff, and it's just even more fun when it's cold out. It just makes it really fun. So make it something to look forward to, or make it an event kind of to look forward to. So if you don't have anything else to do after school, then go to Starbucks and hang out with your friends. Take a book with you, and, you know, then you might get kind of inspired to read, and, you know, you might be more excited about it. Okay guys, so that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and I feel like I don't say it enough. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys are having an awesome week, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye everyone.